everybody, one of Wisdom here. I don't even know what time it is, but we're having some fun. I played around a little bit while these last couple unboxings rendered, and I've got some like non-commentated sort of playing around with the Academy footage we might get up soon. That said, where we left off, we'd unboxed steel-plated smash hit from Best Buy, legendary Hurricane Jetpack from Toys R Us. And we are now down to our final store exclusive at this point because we'd also previously done the Nitro Stealth Stinger yesterday on launch day. And now we're going to come in and take a look at Frightful Fiesta. So, Frightful Fiesta, he is another store exclusive. Obviously, this guy is at GameStop. You can tell by the price tag. $12.99 is the price that they want for this guy. And as you can see, he is the special Halloween edition. So I'm a big Halloween person, and I am a big fan of the Halloween variants. So, Frightful Fiesta, Undead, it's party time. That's going to be his slogan. Sadly, I do not yet have regular Fiesta. I'm thinking in the next couple of days that should show up. So whenever I do get regular Fiesta, we'll kind of throw this in. But we'll swing it around over here to the back side. You got Stealth Elf in hand on the portal with the Stealth Stinger, and then you've got the supercharged version there in the game. I guess you technically don't. That's actually just Supershot Stealth Elf. Anyway, there's our screenshot of Frightful Fiesta. Looks like he's going to be a very fun character. New powers and weapons, ability to customize vehicle parts in-game. Literally, if you accidentally press the D-pad just on the fly, you can do that. So, kind of cool. And the good news is you really don't... Sometimes, I've done it, but it's hard to accidentally touch it. So, there is Fiesta, very fittingly. His signature vehicle is, of course, the Crypt Crusher. That thing is sweet. It's like a monster mobile. I don't know, most of you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But essentially, I remember when I was a kid, there was this poll. It was Nick at Night. And Nick at Night was basically like old TV shows that they threw back up, I guess, for parents of kids that watch Nickelodeon or something. I don't know. But I think it was on Nick at Night. They would do like I Love Lucy and Get Smart, Mr. Ed, although they took that away. Cranked out more I Love Lucy stuff. But eventually they were doing the Addams Family and the Munsters, primarily the Munsters. And I remember they had this like nationwide poll. At the time, they're like, the internet was a thing, but it wasn't like, you know, everyone was on dial-up, and like if you turn on a dishwasher, you get disconnected. It was slow, sounded like a fax machine. I mean, it was just, it wasn't the world you know today. People still use like landlines and corded phones and stuff. And I remember one year they did this poll, and it was the Munsters versus the Addams Family. And they like would say like, hey, you couldn't even text at this time. You know, you literally had to call in. And I remember, you know, like the Addams Family was winning, and I was like, this cannot be. Like I kept trying to get in, and I never could. It's like when you try to win something from the radio, be caller number 9, and you like had to catch an operator, and I was like, well, this is lame. And finally I got through, and I was so happy when I voted for the Munsters. I think they wound up winning, if I remember correctly. But anyway, that whole story, the Crypt Crusher, looks like something Herman Munster would have driven at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. He had... They're a pretty cool family, but he had this like crazy hot rod, so that's kind of how I tie in Crypt Crusher. That's part of the reason why I'm so excited about it. If none of you understand anything I just said, by all means go to YouTube and Google it. Whatever you need to do, just type in the Munsters or Herman Munster's hot rod or something. And it's not like this, but I think of them as like an undead family, sort of like Frankenstein type deal. And so I sort of make that equation in my own mind. Other promo characters, Sharpshooter Terrapin, he is coming up next, just for those of you scoring at home. Nightfall. I saw some people were able to locate Nightfall and even Smash Hit today, which everyone I've talked to found them at Target or GameStop, and today I was at Target and GameStop. They were not present at my stores. So, and there, of course, is High Volt, one of my most anticipated. Very excited to see that guy. I think he's out as well. So, I don't know, I guess I'm getting shafted up here, but nothing in my stores. So, that's my story, I'm sticking to it. Right here, though, Frightful Fiesta. Let's go ahead. If you keep these guys in the packaging, I hate how GameStop does this. They even put price tags on my Wii U Dark Edition I had pre-ordered, but You can usually pull these off unscathed, you know, not mess up your packaging. So keep that in mind. But I'm not too concerned because I want this guy out of his packaging so we can take a good proper look at him. Alright. There we go here. Cutting that up, you don't need to see that action. I'm back to using my dull knife. I think my good one is somewhere. Well, I've got a lot of knives, but the one I use to unbox stuff is somewhere else. There's the backside. He cracks me up. Okay, this is the second time I've had the sticker sheet fall out. But also, this is not taped at all. So that follows suit with the majority we've had thus far. Question now is there tape here? And there is not. So that should make our life pretty easy. What I like to do, this 45-degree angle, just like in the past, you want to come in, grab him by the base if you have to, and let's try to work him loose actually by the hat. That's probably your best course of action. So we'll pull that down now. He just pops right out. So pretty much, I don't actually have an undead, so we can't say for sure, but I don't know what part of this differs exactly from Fiesta since we don't have him here, but he's basically Mariachi Man, okay? I live in Texas, and people will think I'm lying. I live out in the middle of I would scare people that come in from like the East Coast or the West Coast and they travel here for some reason or they're passing through. First thing people say, it's like, where are all the people? You know, it's like there's just miles and miles of ranch land and cattle and farmland and nobody around. There's no houses and stuff. They're driving down the highways and interstates and it's like, where does everyone live? This is so weird. And they'll get in freak mode. Like I've known people when I was at college came in from like upstate New York and stuff. And they would come in for whatever reason. They wound up here for college. And they're like, there's no gas stations or stores. It's like, okay, I'm not sure what to tell you. But nonetheless, what I'm getting at is there are still people that dress like this. It's getting to be more rare. But growing up not many years ago, like I don't know if Mervin's is still in business, but for whatever reason, I think it was like a West Coast based store, but we had one here in town. And yeah, we have like some vaqueros, right? You know, like Mexican cowboy guys. And not many of them really work cattle anymore. Some of them do the feedlot thing. But at the time, man, like this is, I guess, early 90s. You know, you got like the grunge scene going on and really good. Really, the music scene in the 90s was the best yet, at least in my short lifespan. But you had like the grunge stuff going down, you had, you know, the punk rock from the 80s, and then you had like the country stuff. The Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, and people would walk into Mervin's, man. That's where I would like see the highest concentration. We'd like go there to get bath towels or something, and there would just be like families with like everybody decked out in Western wear. Not, you know, if you go to a rodeo or something, you would see that there too, but I just remember the highest concentration of this type of attire I've ever witnessed was like Mervin's as a kid growing up. So there are people that dress like this. It's not, you know, you don't just see it in like old movies or something, or mariachi bands even. At the time, it was just like regular people doing it. So this is kind of like my home turf, you know. And we do have a lot of mariachi bands running around here. So basically you're trying to eat your tacos and then people come up and, you know, they're always so jovial, you know. It's almost like, yeah, we gotta do something. So anyway, none of that matters. I guess it does a little bit. But this is Frightful Fiesta. Hopefully you've been taking a look at him. And the black and the silver, it's kind of like Raider Nation. That ties in nice with the Halloween theme. We got all kinds. We got like Mariachi Man, Banditos, Vaqueros, the Oakland Raiders, all sorts of Halloween themed things going down. What I'm liking though is on the Rift engine, it is blacked out. It's kind of like a flat black, not too much of a gloss to it at all. I wouldn't say, I guess like semi-glosses would be more accurate. Right there, it is kind of like a, not really a hemi orange, but sort of like a flat orange, which looks very nice. It contrasts beautifully with black. One of my personal favorite color combos. Our first undead Skylander from the SuperCharger series. It's got the bones you would expect, and again, from a front side, you just barely see them. The bones show up nicely here because it's black on white, so there's a lot of contrast. On the bottom, you got the classic Undead Element skull. Matches right there on the base. And what is that on his belt? Why, it would be a skull. So, kudos there. We've got the trifecta. He's got his little trumpet and gun. I'm not sure what his powers are. Again, I don't do the spoiler stuff, man. I just go with the B-roll they send out and take it from there. He's got the striped pants. He's got this... oh, these boots, I tell you. Good times, good times. He's got spurs on. He's got some like steel-plated boots. They're probably snakeskin. We'll just go on that assumption. And coming up here, he's got very like, I don't know what the word is. I guess they very skeletal hands, which you would expect, you know. But it's a nice attention to detail, is what I'm saying. It's not just like a round nub. It's you can see the bone structure, very nice. And I appreciate the little things like that. Got some wrinkles in the back. Freshly starched aside from that. He's probably been sitting down in the Crypt Crusher a while. Can't blame him. He's got a sweet ride. I'm not sure if those are zippers or just kind of like a... I think they're probably just embellishments on his shirt. So the only thing that could have made this guy better is some pearl snaps, you know. But that's another story, another day. I've probably lost like half of you by now. Anyone that stuck around through the Mervyn's thing and could relate by now, you're like, I don't know. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, the Munsters, Mervyns, anything like that, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know that I am not alone in this crazy world. But right here, most important part is he has got his hat on a strap, the sombrero. You don't want that to blow away. So he's got it adorned and draped over his arm. There's actually some pretty nice detail there. It's worn on the edges, just like a sombrero should be. You can tell someone's loyal to it by the wear and tear present. So one of the things I like the best, and I don't know how this is going to pan out again. I haven't played him or seen any of his things, but there's a couple of interesting items here. Number one, the skull. With Frightful Fiesta, more so than Standard Fiesta, you've got the orange background. It's jack-o'-lanternish. Looks like a pumpkin, right? And then what color are the eyes? They're yellow. How do you get the yellow glow? You've got the candle inside the jack-o'-lantern, you know, so you got that going. Around the, well, let me start here. So you've got these and you're thinking, oh, he's got eyebrows, right? That's kind of crazy. Those are actually bats, or that's what I'm going to call them. Fiesta has the same thing, kind of like, what is that name for that skull? I don't know. I should know that. But nonetheless, in this form with Frightful Fiesta, instead of like the decorations, why would that not focus? It actually, they look like bats, and that is very, very cool in my opinion. They're kind of multifaceted. They're a decoration, they look like bats, and they kind of give some eyebrow effect. But, I'll say this, when you go around his eyes there, does that not make them look like, sort of like an undead Reese's Pieces? You know, or a Reese's Cup, if you will. So, pretty cool stuff. And then right here, this thing, I don't know if it's like a chin strap, if it's a strap for the hat that ties in with that somehow. But what that reminds me of, I don't know why that is so blurry for you, but it almost, if you were to pivot that up, it's almost like you're carrying, you know, the traditional orange pumpkin around at Halloween, you know, the plastic one that you put your candy in. So he's got a lot going. Gets my imagination running wild. That's what a good Skylander should do. So kudos to Mr. Frightful Fiesta here. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the game, let alone upgrading him. I just kind of want to get a feel for him and Fiesta. Very excited about this. The most important thing, he is out now. This is a great, if you get your children the game before Halloween, go ahead and grab this. Keep it back. Save it for Halloween. It doesn't get much better than that. And in all honesty, $12.99 for this guy, it's very hard to get a decent bag of candy for less than like $8. So unless you wait till the day after. So keep that in mind. This is money well spent. It'll keep them entertained and away from the dentist. So coming in here, that's actually, can we see all the way down that? It's almost like a drain effect. But where was I going with anything in this? I don't know. Slogan again is "It's party time." His sticker sheet fell to the ground. Let us take a look at that. So here's Frightful Fiesta. Again, this is a standalone sticker, as is the name tag. The stats are not something you can peel off, you know, or they're not intended to be, but you can totally do it. I'm going to just personally treat mine like I did the stat cards and archive them in a binder, but Power 230, Armor 135, Agility 165, Luck 270. Wouldn't have it any other way, right? So, according to the strategy guide, his starting stats, we're going to have a max health of 230. That's stereotypical of the undead element. They generally don't have a high health. Go figure. Speed is 50. He's actually rated quicker than Jetvac, which is interesting. Armor 6, pretty low. Critical hit 4. And of course, elemental power, if you didn't guess, 25. So, I will attempt to read this. It's a long ways away from me. But I'll try to spin this guy around for you. Hopefully he stays in focus. Despite being undead, Frightful Fiesta had always been the life of the party. He was once the head member. What I'm laughing at there is head, because he's a skeleton. So he was once the head member of a popular mariachi band in the personal court of Count Moneybone. Count Moneybone, if you don't know him from 3DS, you're going to definitely meet him here early on in SuperChargers, who all undead citizens respected immensely. In his spare time, Frightful Fiesta and his bandmates played music for all of the new arrivals that entered the underworld. However, a day came when the new arrivals were actually several Skylanders who had come on a mission to stop Count Moneybone from unleashing a robot army on all of Skylands. Fiesta didn't realize that he, like so many others, had been fooled by the evil Count into thinking he was kind and generous, not the vengeful monster he truly was. Unbeknownst to the Skylanders, Fiesta and his bandmates helped distract the robot army so they could infiltrate Moneybone's mansion and put a stop to him. Even though the Skylanders were unaware, this act of bravery and defiance didn't catch the attention of Master Eon, who recruited Frightful Fiesta at once. So, very cool story in my opinion. Again, once I get Fiesta, I think he's coming with the review stuff, as is the Crypt Crusher. We'll kind of include these guys in that video. If you're big time into Halloween, or the undead elements, things of that nature, obviously. If you're probably into undead, you're probably big on Halloween, right? But what we can do this time of year on through October, you can come in, you can get your Halloween eyebrow, a couple of your other Halloween characters, some custom paints you might have done, and just throw those guys out on your entertainment center, the living room, the office, the kids' room, wherever you want to do your main display shelf, and just kind of create a nice Halloween-themed feel for your room. So, that said, this is Frightful Fiesta and a whole bunch of information that hopefully gives you a better idea of not only why I'm enticed by this guy, but what I've lived through in my relatively short life. But, like I said, I could totally see people still etched in my mind that would look just like this guy, just changing out basically the face, and I'm cool with that. Works for me. Usually pretty nice people, very helpful, handy. But anyway, I'm excited again to see him in game, and then more importantly how Fiesta and Frightful Fiesta are going to upgrade for us. So it looks like he has got the little mariachi guys. He's got the Amigos Superstar Path. I think he looks pretty fun here. So wait. Soul Gem ability is Family Fiesta. That almost looks like a piñata. I don't know what it is, but that would make sense with a strap under his chin. So, I don't know. But there's a lot of little details. I think the nose kind of looks like a heart upside down. That's probably intentional, I would think. But just very, very cool character just to look at and have in front of you. So, like I said, if you relate to anything that I added into this video, let me know. Like I said, it's good to know you're not alone. But I'll end this. We're going to get this thing rendered out so we can unbox Shock Shooter Tariff, and stay tuned for that. But this is it for the store exclusives at this point in time. Frightful Fiesta, $12.99 GameStop. The Stealth Stinger, Nitro Stealth Stinger, I should say, at Target. Legendary Hurricane Jetvac, Toys R Us, steel-plated smash hit, tied in, of course, to Best Buy. Dark Bowser, he's exclusive to two things, really. The Dark Wii Edition, only the Nintendo Wii Edition. No 3DS or Wii U derivative. But that starter pack, the Dark Wii starter pack, is exclusive to Toys R Us, so he's kind of in the mix there as well. But Frightful Fiesta, this is a great time for him. It worked out well, because when the game would launch like second, third week of October, didn't really have a lot of time to fully enjoy the Halloween vibe, so now we've got the full September 20th to October 31st. So I anticipate he will be heavily utilized late next month. So again, pick him up if you are so inclined. My local store, they pulled most of theirs behind the counter, but there are a few out, and then he hasn't gone out of stock online. Again, really up until Black Friday, you don't have too many problems outside of Target in most cases. So that said, he's a very cool character. If you're into Fiesta, I highly recommend him. If you're into the Undead or Halloween, it's a no-brainer. If you're into the mariachi bands, this is your Skylander, my friends. So that said, as always, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. What do you think of Frightful Fiesta? Do you like the Halloween, Christmas, and Easter variants? Do you wish they'd quit doing that? Do you think it's the greatest thing ever? If you can only get one version of Fiesta, do you go standard or do you go Frightful? Do you make those decisions based collectively or do you do it individually? You hate steel-plated smash hits, so you get regular. You love legendary hurricane jetbacks, so you go that route, etc. If you are into that sort of a thing, you are not alone. I created the Skylander Club Forum as a safe haven for those of us that are into the details, into all the analytics, things of that nature. Check it out, SkylanderClub.com. If you like what you see there, I encourage you to sign up. It's fun, it's free, it's easy to sign up, and you'll be there with some great people who will gladly share information, thoughts, opinions, conspiracy theories, anything to do with Skylanders. You will have people ready to, participate with you, I guess would be the best way to phrase that. So check that out. oneofweezem.com is my personal site. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. We have a ton of great Skylander SuperChargers content coming your way. But for myself and the Frightful Fiesta, we will catch you back here for the next unboxing, which again, Sharpshooter Terrafin, as Frightful Fiesta would say, it's party time.